It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Ullman, featuring Ben Conowitz and Nate Laux. And here's the podcast.
We're back.
We did
Whoa!
it. Guys.
Bang, 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 bang.
It was so freaking nice. I don't care about this episode at all. I don't care about the opinions anybody has.
I care.
No, I
You
care.
should care about the opinions.
No, I care that it's back. I just
No, I
care that it feels like a homecoming, like
Yeah, it felt good.
a warm blanket.
Do you know what I care about?
You know?
That we didn't have to watch Stuart Save His
Oh
Family.
my God, it was so nice to not have to watch that movie.
You know what's funny? What's interesting, though, is I feel like the strikes made it feel like it's been a lot longer since SNL was gone, because really, honestly, we only missed 3 weeks of SNL.
Yeah.
Like
That's
The end
too
of
long.
May. The end of May.
Yeah, because otherwise, this really is when SNL probably would have started anyway.
I don't care.
Typically,
It
it's
It's about a
feels
week
good.
late.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So like
Feels
maybe a month we've missed. So like, but
I
the strikes just made things exhausting.
I think I read that it's the fourth latest start for an episode, like season
There you
ever.
go.
So it's not the latest though.
Yeah. So as Saturday Night Live is back, the actor strike, SAG-AFTRA, is still going on. But because Saturday Night Live as a series follows under the same network guidelines that shows like Late Night with Seth Meyers and the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and the Late Show with Stephen Colbert
Name
and
more. Name
Jimmy
more.
Kimmel Live.
Keep going.
The big nighttime squeeze with Ellen McPherson.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
these
a
are
favorite of mine.
Yeah, all those are real shows. But like
What was that last one?
the big nighttime squeeze with Ellen McPherson.
Yeah, one of my
Oh,
favorites.
she's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's great.
But the so these shows were able to come back even though SAG is still on strike and Saturday Night Live fit under that. So all of the people who are SAG members on the Saturday Night Live cast got full permission and blessing from SAG to come back and do the show, and that's why we're back.
So we're not breaking any rules.
Yeah, no one's breaking any rules. Everything is kosher. Everything is cool. And Pete Davidson came back to host. He was supposed to host towards the end of season
Supposed to
48 last spring, but because the last 3 episodes of that season did not happen due to the writer's strike, we got him to come back this time. And it kind of worked out because Dumb Money just came out not too long ago. He's in that. And Pete Davidson is still just a cool
I
guy.
thought you said Dumb Money.
Dumb Money, starring Pete Davidson.
That's his rap alter ego, Dumb Money.
Yeah, so Pete Davidson hosted this episode for the first time since he departed the show at the end of season 47, and Ice Spice joined him as musical guest, and there was a handful of cameos that we will get to here in a second.
Can we talk a little bit about the cast? And we have just one new cast member. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a new featured player. Her name is Chloe Troast, and she has some decent comedy accolades, including being on the recent inductees for the Just for Laughs comedy lineup, which is a big honor for young upcoming comedians. But she already kind of has a history with SNL because she's been working with the boys from Please Don't Destroy for a while. She's collaborated with them on some stuff, including random projects like music videos. You can go out on YouTube and find her. You can see some of her comedy stuff out there that she's done with Ben Marshall and Martin Hurley and John Higgins. And she's you know, if you look and watch the videos, she looks like she's pretty funny. We didn't get to see much of her in this episode. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But just right off the top, actually, we didn't really get a traditional cold open because the show opened with a surprisingly sobering and somber and serious moment from Pete Davidson himself. And if you would have told me that they would have had Pete Davidson address this up top in such a serious manner, I wouldn't have anticipated it.
Hey, you know who should talk about Israel and Palestine? Pete Davidson.
Yeah, but you know, honestly, I'm kind of glad he did because it was, you know, it's that kind of just average, you know, middle of the road perspective you want on it, and it comes from somebody who does have that unique advantage of, since his father was a New York firefighter who died in, you know, the 9/11 attacks after what happened in New York City in the World Trade Center. You know, it kind of did offer a unique perspective from him as a person on that. But in general, it felt like a very honest and candid and intimate, you know, way of addressing it and just acknowledging the tragedy that is happening, because it is, you know, making headlines all over, and it's really is just a really heartbreaking, you know, situation over there.
The thing about Pete Davidson specifically is, obviously you can have your problems with why he's popular, why he's hot, and all that, the BDE energy. And
Is
all
he
that.
hot really though?
It's that big dick energy
I
thing.
feel like
you're
people
talking
who look like they have the flu perpetually.
So anyway, you can say that, right? But at the same time, he addresses the nation on TV like this, and it just seems like this guy is just like, he gets it.
Yeah.
You know, he knows that that it's not really his place to say this, but he's coming from a very average perspective of it, and it's very honest.
Yeah,
and there's nothing about Pete Davidson that is disingenuous to me.
Yeah,
and I think that's respectable.
He's really good at being self-deprecating as well. So that fit the moment. That's how you can let Pete Davidson do this, because you certainly don't want Pete Davidson commenting on this. But when the angle they took was, I thought, surprisingly meaningful.
Yeah, it's in a way it kind of called back to the opening of Saturday Night Live when it came back for the first time after 9/11, because it was delayed a little bit because of what happened. They brought on Rudy Giuliani at the time,
who back then was fine.
Yeah, well, he was okay. You know,
he wasn't great even back then.
Yeah, he was better at the time. Not a crazy melting person. And so it's that idea of that comedy is something that helps us through these difficult times, and it's just it's good to have a show like SNL that can bring a little bit of levity to the situation.
So it was also Pete Davidson's 20th time ever saying live from New York at Saturday night.
Well, there you go.
And he did it solo.
Tying who? Chris Redd.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
I didn't realize Chris Redd had probably said that many times.
He did it.
Did a lot of it.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on from Pete Davidson, he is the 5th cast member to host the premiere episode of a season.
Nice.
Do you want to guess any other ones?
Will Ferrell?
No.
Will Ferrell never hosted an opener?
He's hosted, obviously, but not one of the openers. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
I'll give you this. Season 8 with, you'll know it now, musical guest Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
No. Chevy Chase.
Oh, okay. Why would I know that?
You'll know this now.
Maybe this will help. Season, because now we're into the seasons where we actually watch more closely. Season 36.
So it's about 10 or 12 years ago. Kristen Wiig. No, it's too far back.
No, she would have been. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Amy Poehler.
There you go.
Season 39.
Kristen Wiig.
No, it's still a little too close, I think.
Yep.
Will Ferrell.
Has Kristen Wiig hosted?
Oh, yeah, she's hosting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Tina Fey. And then
That makes sense.
season 46 with Megan Thee Stallion.
Bill
Jason
Hader.
Sudeikis.
Chris Rock.
We're
You guys
close,
are
we're close, though.
You're really good at this.
Yeah.
Guys, we host an SNL podcast. It's pretty great.
Hey, I also wanted to point out, too, that this is the first, they didn't have it the last episode either, I don't think, the final episode of last season. There's no political sketches in this one. So,
Yeah, that's why I
usually
like
the
this one.
political
That's probably why it felt pretty good.
the cold open usually is a political sketch,
Yeah.
and it was not at all.
No.
So there was no political sketches in this one.
And yeah, good.
Yeah.
We're getting ready, right? We're going to turn the corner here in
Yeah.
the political season for the next presidential, and we're going to get bombarded with it. So I'm okay with holding out as long as you can.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of changes from the norm as well, the opening credits are pretty much the same from last year. They have all the same things, but in addition to Chloe Troast being part of the featured players, there was one new little bit. You guys don't typically watch SNL the way that I watch SNL, so you probably didn't watch.
Yes,
the
I
opening credits?
actually did watch it, just
you see
like
it?
you on Peacock.
Yeah.
I noticed that the Please Don't Destroy guys are in there
Yeah,
now.
that's the first time ever that this has happened for them. They were given a credit that said a film by Please Don't Destroy.
It's kind of crazy to me that they weren't included, because they were one of my favorite parts of last season.
Yeah,
and
it's
they
not-
are an
it's-
integral part
They
of
never
this,
did that
other than just writers.
in the intro with the Lonely Island.
That's what I was about to say. Is that something they never did for Lonely Island? They used to do it with Robert Smigel. They used to say a cartoon by Robert Smigel, but they never did it for Lonely Island. So that's an interesting addition.
So they don't always have one.
Yeah.
So will they take it out on those?
I'm sure they will, because that's what they did whenever Robert Smigel had
Okay.
a cartoon. Is they would just put it in whenever that was an option.
That's fun. I like that
Yeah.
they did that.
So because there's no cold open, we went straight from the sobering opening from Pete Davidson into his monologue as host when they brought him out. And because it's Pete Davidson and he's also a stand-up comedian, he did a little bit of stand-up. And what did you guys think of Davidson's material here?
I didn't think it was that funny. I honestly didn't. And maybe I was in a bad mood. I don't know. When I watched it, I just didn't. Like, there was a couple things in the Game of Thrones stuff, watching it with your sister.
The sister bit was
Yeah.
really funny.
But I don't know. I've seen Pete kill in stand up, and it wasn't that for
Yeah.
me.
I think that they went for he went really dark,
Yeah.
with that other joke, and it's hard. That's not the audience for that joke.
You're talking about the one with the girlfriend who
passes away from drugs.
That's the one I
It's
actually really like that
Oh,
one.
I love that
It was the middle stuff that I was like, this just kind of feels like
Yeah.
you're riffing and like you don't have full bits.
That's kind
for
of what
these
I
things.
felt.
Yeah.
Like it was just Pete kind of just.
But that bit that he does about the dead ex-girlfriend, I mean, that's a really, really funny. It's
was
just,
really
that's not
good.
the audience.
I thought the premise is funny, but I didn't think it hit as well as it could have.
And I think that it's the audience, though. I think the audience reaction, because you have a bunch of like probably upper middle class white people in that audience that are like, oh, I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, because I like that. I thought it was funny stuff. But yeah, the middle stuff, I was like, okay, it's Pete's not my favorite stand-up comedian. I think that his material isn't always the best. I think he brings a certain charisma and appeal to it because the way he talks is just very engaging, and like he makes you feel like you're his friend, like talking to him, just like goofing around. But otherwise, like his material isn't always like the best for me.
So we host another podcast called Go Flix Yourself, where we talk about mostly movies, but also TV. Did you watch Bupkis at all? Because I'm kind of intrigued about Pete Davidson's. He's got his stand-up, but like how his career has gotten here.
Yeah.
Because he kind of mentioned in the stand-up that nobody watched Bupkis. Is that true? Nobody really watched it?
I mean, I haven't seen any stories about the ratings or anything like that, but I haven't watched it yet, if that tells you anything.
What?
Not because I didn't care, just because I haven't had time.
What's it on?
It was on Peacock.
So is Pete Davidson just more of a cultural character than he is known for, comedy and acting and things like that? Is he?
No, I mean he's known for being a funny person. Like I think the thing he's most famous for is Saturday Night Live. And
I think the thing he's most famous for is being like basically the male version of a Kardashian. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's a cultural character.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Except I don't hate Pete Davidson, and I hate all the Kardashians, every single one of them.
He definitely never was one of my favorite SNL characters either, or cast members either. So
very glad that we didn't see a Chad.
I'm surprised we didn't.
I'm glad.
kind of a little glad we didn't, but that's the only thing I can actually point to, other than him laughing.
I don't mind Chad though.
Yeah, it's just
he's not my favorite, but
beating a dead horse. I mean, I get it. It's over and over again now.
All right,
it's too much, Brad.
Moving on, Fox NFL Sunday, Kurt Menefee, played by Keenan Thompson, Howie Long, played by Mikey Day, Jimmy Johnson, played by James Austin Johnson, Michael Strahan, played by Devin Walker with a little bit of a gap in his tooth, and Terry Bradshaw, played by Molly Carney, try to discuss the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Jets without bringing up Taylor Swift, and a cameo by Travis Kelce at the end of the sketch.
Whoa, spoiler! Don't give that up. That's a surprise.
What are you doing?
We literally make this podcast for people that have already watched the.
Maybe though, I bet there's some people out there who haven't. They would have liked to have been surprised by us telling them.
Pete Davidson doing his best Adam Sandler impression in some of this too.
He did his best Adam Sandler about 3 times, I think, throughout this episode.
Did you feel that as well?
Oh yeah,
this is very.
And Pete Davidson has always had a little bit of an Adam Sandler vibe, and it's because he grew up on Adam Sandler. He's been inspired by him. He had his best stuff at the Weekend Update desk, doing rap songs for pre-recorded sketches. And so I'm not surprised that like he's got that little bit of a Sandler vibe.
But Adam Sandler made those voices himself, right? So whenever anybody does it, you're clearly being derivative of Adam Sandler.
Of course,
just make your own voices.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of this one? I didn't think it was great.
It felt. So this was like the sports equivalent of like when they do the obvious political stuff, because obviously everybody's talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce right now. It was a pretty easy grab. It's like, let's have all the football commentators actually be like Swifties and have bracelets and like know all the things about her.
I didn't hate it because of that. Like I thought it was fine.
I would have loved Mikey Day in the Pete Davidson position because I feel like he could have done a little bit better awkward. Like I wanted a little more awkward, and Pete wasn't able to give me that.
Yeah. It was fine for what it was. Nothing terrible.
Travis Kelce again crushed it. I mean, the guy can do no wrong.
Love that guy. Love him.
He literally only had wrong in this sketch because he flubbed his line, totally fucked it up. It was overshadowed by the crowd reacting to him. You're somebody like Travis Kelce. You're guest starring on a Saturday Night Live show. You've already hosted. You should know that you don't start your line immediately because the crowd has to react to you because you're a big guest star, especially because you are railing Taylor Swift now.
Whoa, you don't know
if they're not waiting until they're married.
Wow.
Married to consummate their relationship.
With a mustache like that, he's not waiting for anything.
That's aggressive.
He's just a fucking trash.
He's great.
Man. No, he's not. He flubbed his line. He was not good in this little bit. He like seriously. Like, can you not?
I didn't expect to be on the Travis Taylor bandwagon, but now I am, and so I was glad they were.
It's
both
not
there.
going to last. He doesn't deserve her.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think Travis is a handsome and wholesome gentleman.
And you know what he did? He spoke up for the vaccine. I know you're anti-vax, but I was happy for him.
Yeah, he's a truth teller.
I love the vaccine.
Like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Moving on. I'm Just Pete, written by Dan Bulla. Pete raps about himself and about how the media focuses on everything about his life, except for his comedy and work. with Andrew Dismukes and Punky Johnson appearing at the beginning about how Pete came to host so soon, with appearances from Mikey Day, Bowen Yang, and Devin Walker as different versions of Pete. I love Devin Walker in this one, though. The first sketch appearance of Chloe Troast, and a silent role as an assistant. Chloe Feynman appears in the end as Barbie. So I love this.
I totally missed Chloe Troast in this sketch.
It's a very, very small
Yeah.
part. But yes, that is her first one. I love this. I love the movie. I love the song. It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a catchy song. I thought Pete found a way to do this. And maybe this is where he does well, is music kind of stuff where
He's always
he
been
is self-deprecating
really good at these
here.
kind of things, yeah.
And I thought it was really funny. What'd you guys think?
No, it was. I mean, the song is already hilarious in Barbie. They did a really good job of recreating the scenery from that movie. All the various sequences, from him singing in his Mojo Doja Casa house to the dance sequence where they're all wearing black. They touched upon everything. It was a clever, self-deprecating bit of comedy where Davidson poking fun at all the things that everyone has talked about in various tabloid stories.
The Devin Walker Black Pete. That
was great.
I thought that was hilarious.
Really, just Black Pete?
That's what we're doing. Okay.
Exactly.
No, very, very. It was a hit. This one was on.
It was my favorite one.
Yeah,
so.
it was great. Nothing I can add to that. You guys said what I wanted to say.
There was one other sketch that I liked just a little bit more than this one, but this one was definitely
I'm looking
close
forward
to the
getting
top.
that one. Okay,
Travis Kelce.
Wired autocomplete interview. I do watch these
I do
actual
too.
interviews.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. The cast: Pete Davidson, Mikey Day, Chloe Feynman, Ego Nwodum, Marcelo Hernandez of a new show answered the most popular internet searched questions about themselves. Is this actually a show on Netflix?
I don't think it's on Netflix. They just release it on YouTube, don't they?
No.
Their cast.
The people are from like an actual show.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Was it an actual show or was it a fake show?
I honestly don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think this was great. This sketch.
It wasn't. It was the same bit over and over again, and it wasn't that funny to begin with.
There was no escalation either. They started with Pete being like an idiot,
Yeah.
right? The questions for him were just bad. It was just, another Pete question
Yeah.
that's not going to be...
And the problem is it's not funnier than the fact that he got shit all over the airplane anyway. Like, that's the funniest thing about this, you know? And so, yeah, you're not really doing anything that's better than the original story, which is already weird and hilarious in itself.
They didn't do any escalation, Nate, to your point. It made it a middling sketch.
Which I think there is a... Again, we're idiots. We're not comedy writers. I didn't think the premise of it was a bad premise. So work on that, come back to us and have another...
Yeah, it was fun. I think the only bit that I appreciated was how they brought the other questions for everyone else back to the diarrhea incident. Sure. Yeah, that was moderately entertaining. But
all right, I think Ben's going to have some opinions on this one. Secretary, written by Mike DeCenzo, Heidi Gardner, Jimmy Fowley, Jake Nordwin, and Carol O'Sullivan. A lawyer, played by Pete Davidson, takes on a new client, played by Bowen Yang, with the help of his secretary, Heidi Gardner, with James Austin Johnson and Kenan Thompson. Heidi Gardner is so freaking talented. Great physical comedy in here. There was a couple low sketches for me in there before this. She came in and she just brought life to it, like a Saturday Night Live sketch should be.
Yeah.
James Austin Johnson saying, "I'm done meeting her" is going to be a line I use. Like, all right, I'm done meeting them, kind of thing. I thought this was actually really funny. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I really like this one too, and I was particularly impressed by that pratfall.
Wow, she went for it.
That was like a Chris Farley level.
It really
pratfall.
was.
It was really well done.
Then they almost broke because she had she literally had trouble getting up because she's supposed to be covering herself up. I get that, but it's really hard to stand. Have you ever tried to do that? Just cross your arms and try to get up off the floor. It's really hard to do. You can't. So she can't. She's putting her arms down, but then it's cuts to them and they're dying.
I have a hard enough time getting off the floor with both of my hands.
No, seriously, I don't know what the plan was there, but it made the sketch even better, though. Obviously, and yeah, it was utterly hilarious. I laughed out loud, and Heidi is very attractive.
I love the turn that it takes too, because it was not one that I was expecting. Because the idea of her being this incredible secretary who knows exactly what her boss needs and is right on top of it, and then all of a sudden she's just terrible. Like she had like a string of good luck, and then it's just done. Like
it's not Keenan. It's not impressive when it's real easy.
Yeah.
Toilet paper.
Everyone did their roles in this well. It was not a groundbreaking sketch, but it was a sketch that I want.
It was a desk-breaking sketch.
Yeah. It had just the right amount of absurdity.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
so again, we talk about escalation, right? This escalated wildly, which was good, but it still kept it in the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
it didn't get too absurdist. So well done, guys.
The weakest part of that sketch for me was Pete Davidson. Honestly, I didn't really get.
Thankfully, he didn't ruin it, though. You know, and honestly, I think throughout the evening, actually, it's strange, but like this is really one of the better performances that Pete Davidson has done, because he was never super prominent as a character in a lot of sketches. It was either him doing stand-up bits at the Weekend Update desk or doing like the musical stuff like we talked about. There's not really a lot of memorable character work that Pete Davidson has done over the years. Here, though, it really felt like he was trying, because like the past couple years when he was a cast member, it really felt like he was phoning it.
Frustrated. Yeah. He laughed during sketches.
But it seemed like he was having a lot of fun, and like and he actually was putting himself into the characters, being goofier, and
he was trying. He was trying.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, moving on. Please Don't Destroy film, the original Princess of Comedy, written by Martin Herlihy, John Higgins, Ben Marshall, and Gary Richardson. The boys, the Please Don't Destroy boys, show Pete that they used to do edgy comedy when they were younger. John Mulaney makes a pre-taped cameo in this one. Michael Che and his mother appear at the end. I have to give it up to the child actors. They were amazing. Ben, what did you think?
They look so much like I gotta get up to the casting department. Yes. Holy shit! I thought that was maybe they actually had kids. Martin Hurley he's a doppelganger.
Martin Hurley, he's only 17, so no.
It was incredible. Like that, those child actors, and then they're also very talented. They're doing the bits and doing the punchlines just like you're supposed to do if you're doing def comedy. Oh my god, this sketch was awesome.
Yeah, this was such a fun bit to do. Like, and it's one that I wouldn't have expected, because it's you see Pete Davidson and like actual footage of him as a teen doing stand up. But yeah, calling it back to the original Kings of Comedy, which, by the way, if you don't remember, is a real stand up concert that they did with Jamie Foxx, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, and Steve Harvey back in the day. It was like a big theatrical hit.
Was it Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He was the fourth King of Comedy.
I thought he was not. I thought it was somebody else.
He was the fourth King of Comedy.
Right.
But yeah, so the title is it's easy, but it's hilarious because it just works so well with the premise.
This is one of those things where if you have a good premise, but then you execute it incredibly well, it elevates it to something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, and like you said, the kids were so good, and they really are the ones that made it. And the Mulaney cameo was just a nice cherry on top.
Yeah, mwah, I love it.
If God wanted me to eat that, he would have put it in my Lunchable. Just cracked me. That's what I said. Those are even just good jokes. I mean, for like in the situation that these kids were in, it was just they were funny jokes as they were. So loved this. It's so good to have those guys back. Real quickly, there is a movie coming out, a Please Don't Destroy film. Brad, you've seen that. Can you plug that real quick?
Yeah, I don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, but you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
people should see this film.
Yeah, Please Don't Destroy. The Treasure of Foggy Mountain comes out on Peacock.
The Treasure of Foggy Mountain
comes out on Peacock in November.
The trailer looks hilarious.
It has vibes of like Hot Rod meets The Goonies in a way. It has that absurd kind of humor. Conan O'Brien and Bone Yang are in it, and honestly, they're really the only two like famous people who are in it in sports.
Chloe Troast is in it.
Yeah, she does have a role in it. But they didn't call upon like a bunch of famous people to make cameos or anything that spark it up. It's literally the boys from Please Don't Destroy resting on their own laurels. They wrote it, they produced it, they star in it, and they're basically playing versions of themselves. Just like kind of.
Does this have nothing to do with Lauren?
I think that he might be a producer on it.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember, but I would think that he is to be fair, because especially since it is Please Don't Destroy doing it. But yeah, it is very funny. I definitely recommend that you go out of your way to watch it on Peacock. And it was supposed to be in theaters, but then they changed it just because they're not just doing comedies in theaters very much anymore. And
Boo.
Yeah, I agree. So, but it is definitely worth watching on Peacock when it comes out. So make sure you seek that out.
All right, moving on. Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. Our listeners for the last couple of seasons will know that there is a barometer that we use each episode where Brad tells us if there's enough chemistry between the two anchors of Weekend Update, Michael Che and Colin Jost. And there's no rhyme or reason, but Brad certainly feels very strongly about the score.
Well, there's no rhyme, but there is plenty of reason.
Okay.
A reason for the season.
And Ben 49. And I have to guess kind of where it is on that barometer, and Brad will then tell me I'm wrong. So, Ben, I'm going to give you the first guess. Where do you think
and this is
the
a scale,
barometer
we always say
was?
This is a scale of 0 to 100.
Yeah, 0 to 100.
I didn't really feel it this time around. The one time that they did it right, where Colin reads a joke that clearly
one of my favorite things they do.
They do. That's the one saving grace thing that will up the breadometer a bit. But they didn't have enough probably for him. So I'll put it probably like 60.
I was going to say 68. Where are we at here?
Oh, I mean, your reasoning is sound, but I would give it a 75.
Okay.
I win. I didn't go over. So weekend update. Anchors Colin Jost and Michael Che tackle the week's biggest news, like Congressman George Santos getting hit with federal charges and dog owners questioning the rabies vaccine. Love those vax deniers.
I love George Santos.
Well, we know that.
Yeah,
you are a big supporter.
I just love a big puffy lip storyteller.
Did you love any of the other stuff outside of anytime Che makes Jost do
the
racist
joke swap
jokes?
is just hilarious, as always.
Was there any jokes that stood out to you in Weekend Update?
There were, but like, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to think of them off the top of my head. But yeah, no, I did think that this edition of Weekend Update was particularly funny. I laughed out loud several times, and they were big hearty laughs too, like like a bowl of hearty soup laughs, you know,
easy.
like a nice beef stew laugh.
Good Lord, what is wrong?
I like beef stew. It's fall.
Okay,
and
all right.
I get all warmed up with laughter and beef stew.
Cuffing season.
But yeah, this I do think overall this Weekend Update was particularly great.
It was very, very funny.
Was it Che that says, "See, Lauren, I was Googling her work."
I was doing it for work. Yeah.
Now, do you guys
Mia
know
Khalifa?
who Mia Khalifa is?
Yeah, she's a very famous porn star.
Okay,
I didn't.
Yeah, well, of course Nate didn't.
Yeah, she's a very famous porn star.
Okay.
I feel like even if Nate
She had
did,
a very short career.
he probably couldn't say.
That's true.
I genuinely didn't, but
Yeah.
I would probably.
I wonder if maybe if you saw some of her work, you might recognize her.
Did you know?
Some of her work.
Brad, did you know who she was?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's go to some of the bits from Weekend Update. Christopher Columbus on statues of himself and his discoveries, written by Will Steven, Bowen Yang, and Celeste Nim. What'd you think of this one? Did you think it was a good bit?
This was so.
I mean, the
so
fact
good.
that fucking Bowen Yang plays
Christopher Columbus.
Italian Christopher.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was so good.
cartoonishly Italian Christopher Columbus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everything about this
What
was
are you
so
talking
funny.
about?
Now, when you think about it, it's not remarkably different from when he does George Santos
Yeah,
because
that's
of
true.
because the lies and everything he's telling, but because he's doing the accent and because of the various subject matter and things like that, it was so
very,
funny.
very well
yeah.
written and well performed. What did you think, Nate?
I thought it was fine. Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Just
But
fine.
I mean, it wasn't like the funniest thing I've seen Bowen Yang do. He's so the
Well,
problem
it's a
with
pretty high
Bowen
bar.
Yang is
It's a high bar.
yeah, he is so good on Weekend Update when he comes on, and it was better than most people, but it wasn't like an all timer for Bowen Yang for me.
I think it was pretty dang good though.
Did you?
Yeah,
really liked
I
it?
thought it was really, really funny. Yeah.
All right. Deion Sanders on coaching at University of Colorado Boulder, written by Keenan Thompson and Brian Tucker. This was just Keenan doing Keenan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right? He does
a
this
way.
character. He does this character in other ways.
When he does certain sports characters, there's not a remarkable difference.
That's
when
what
he
I'm
plays
saying.
them.
Like-
However, I don't keep up with sports these days. I do know who Deion Sanders is, but it was my fiance Brittany who filled me in on how kind of outlandish and like and over the top like Deion Sanders is when he's doing interviews and stuff like that.
It's not only that, but the way he's living his life as this coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he went in there and basically fucking fired all of the team. So you're all transferring. I'm bringing everybody new. And then he said, well, we're going to win it all. And and then they were on like a 3-game win streak right off the bat. And everyone's like, oh my God. And then they started getting hammered. And so now with that context going into this Weekend Update bit, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, name 4 more. Ole Miss. Okay.
Okay.
They're a pretty good team.
Yep.
That rip.
That
Yep,
makes
makes sense. It really, to me, because I do follow a little bit about that.
Yeah.
It really hit the nail on the head about what how he's acting and how undeserved like it all is,
Yeah, I'm done with Deion. I don't dislike Deion.
No,
he seems like
whatever.
a decent.
Put it on the
person,
cover of
but,
Nate's book. Done with Deion.
but like the media overblowing it.
Yeah.
he certainly doesn't seem to be a person. Like he is a person that has a inspirational retort to everything you say. How you doing? And you would ask him how he's doing, and he'd have something to try to say.
Bombasticism is
Yep.
not a personality, and it's not a way to live your life, and that's what he's doing.
Exactly. And so Keenan did.
I don't
that
even
well.
know if that's a real word, but it sounds like
It
I
is
made
now.
it up.
We determined that here on the 10 to 1.
All I know is I'm soaring on the wings of eagles, baby.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's basically Charlie Sheen without the cocaine, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we're drinking tiger blood over here. We're making it rain unicorns.
All right, moving on. Spaceship. 2 former coworkers, Pete Davidson and Bowen Yang, reconnect while their spaceship is under attack with Michael Longfellow, Heidi Gardner, Chloe Fineman, and Marcelo Hernandez.
Listen,
I love this.
it was a very.
I thought it was fine.
loved this?
It was a very good day to be a big fan of Heidi Gardner. I love her so much, and she was wonderful in this sketch. And also, she's the wig. It was doing.
I thought Bowen Yang was hilarious in this.
Oh, Bowen Yang's fun.
Oh man,
You didn't like him at all in this?
I thought this was the worst sketch of the night.
Oh,
It wasn't the worst sketch.
No,
tonight, but
not at all.
I didn't like it as much as Nate, though.
It was close with one other sketch, but I nothing landed for me. Like,
I just thought it was hilarious.
I like Bowen Yang a lot.
Do you though?
No, seriously.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would take him to Chuck E. Cheese and pay for all of his tokens. But no, I just didn't like this sketch. Like the timing felt off. It didn't feel like it was particularly funny. I don't know. It felt flat for me. I wasn't enjoying it, even though like Bowen Yang it was fine as the character. I just didn't find myself laughing out loud at anything. I smirked, in an amusing way, like a little bit every now and then. But yeah, I just wasn't.
For some reason, his character here just got me laughing. I love the idea of. Well, you know
what it is? It felt like it's Pat in space, but without the gender dynamics.
I mean, honestly, he plays a very annoying character.
Yeah, I guess like Pat. Yeah,
and I liked, but I liked the other characters
I liked him
enough.
better than Pat, but
there was just they could have done much more with it.
Heidi Gardner was
Or
killing
less.
it as a robot.
Yeah,
her robot impression was great.
It was great.
You don't hear that often these days.
No.
The robot impression was great.
It was honestly one of those things. I'm like, she's actually killing this.
Yeah.
I was actually I was mesmerized by the suit that she was wearing because
I was too.
Shut up. Because at first I couldn't tell if she was actually wearing something that was like a hard plastic metallic material or if it was just a fabric that was designed so well.
Did you find out for sure for Ben?
Yeah, for asking for your friend.
You're not gonna be able to get anyone to wear that for you, Ben.
Listen, I'm sure that her and her husband are very happy together, but if you're not, Heidi, if you just reach out.
That's not happening.
No, you're right.
No, she doesn't listen to this.
Oh, she is a delight though. She's hysterical and beautiful and lovely, and I'm a big Heidi Gardner fan.
Yeah, we get it.
Beach day, a guy, Pete Davidson, finds out his ant farm has been destroyed. Meanwhile,
No.
And Nate, if you cut that, I will cut you.
This is
no, Brad, shut up. Because I'm gonna mention it 5 minutes from now and another 5 minutes so that you can't cut this.
I can.
You're not cutting this.
You cannot cut this.
You called it.
Pete Davidson's ant farm got destroyed by a tornado.
Yes.
I am cutting that.
No, you can't. This is so good. This is great.
I'm dying.
This is almost as good as when you confused Meet Joe Black and the Curious Case of Benjamin Button on Go Fix Yourself. So the real premise.
Hey, no. We need. I'm redoing that.
No,
one.
you're not. No, absolutely not.
Pete's.
I edit this podcast. I edit this podcast.
Ants.
Let me start again.
Farm. It's Bean Farm. Which in and of itself is a funny enough premise.
Clearly, I'm not reading real well.
But guess
I'm
what?
not reading real well.
You know what? If it was Pete Davidson's ant farm, it would have made the sketch way funnier.
Would have been hilarious. We're not cutting at all.
Let me at least get through the
But
actual
if you cut that, I will be so mad.
No. You're not going to listen to it.
Pete Davidson. You know what? Let me just do the description. I'll do it.
No.
Pete Davidson's aunt's bean farm gets destroyed by a tornado, but him and his friends are at the beach, and they're having a beach day. And one of the cast members,
they buried Andrew Dismuke in the sand up to his neck, and
they put starfish on his breasts.
Yep.
What would be his breasts? And they're waiting to take a picture.
Yeah.
But then they find out that his aunt's bean farm was destroyed by a tornado, and so they all want to leave except for Andrew Dismuke's character, who really wants that picture taken.
He does.
That's the premise. It was
I
really
honestly
funny.
don't know how I wrote ant farm in there.
Oh my God. No, it's so funny.
I need to stop doing this at like 11 o'clock at night.
Well, that might be funnier than the sketch, because the sketch was fine.
Honestly, I was.
Chloe Troast is in here with her first speaking lines, I think, too, right?
See, I missed her in this one too. Maybe I just was. I was.
Do you know who
she
Chloe
looks like?
Troast is?
Because she looks like because I recognized her. Like,
all white girls look alike.
As soon as she was in the Glamgina sketch, but yeah, I didn't. Maybe wasn't.
Did you think it was just like an extra that had a speaking part?
Maybe that happens from time to time, but no. So I liked the idea of the sketch. I don't think it lived up to its potential at all. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the awkwardness and the silliness of it. It felt too short, and it felt like it just didn't like really use the potential of how like strange of an idea it was, because this felt like it could have been like a 10-to-1 sketch, that level of strange, but it just didn't do anything like to really move the needle for me.
Sure. No, yeah, and I mean the hey, can I talk to you over here?
Yeah,
real quick. That was good. He gets all the way down, and then that's my favorite part about the sketch is I mean, you were really angry at these people when they would do anything else other than bury you. I don't remember it like that.
Yeah,
like I just think that they could have done something with either a flashback, and I think that you could have done something there with a to go and
how's that again?
Show that,
yeah,
to show like what would have happened when they were starting to bury him or whatever. They could have come up with a way to do that. I think.
We have a built-in flashback sound from Wayne's World that you can do, right? You don't have to make one up yourself.
Doodly doo, doodly doo.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I like that one better.
Is that Dr. Evil doing it?
Sounds like a weird portal gun.
You're welcome.
Thanks, I guess.
I was waiting for the ants to come in.
When the ants come, they come marching one by one.
Oh my god, I knew you were gonna do that. You're so dumb.
All right, moving on. Glam Giant.
That's Ben's new nickname.
Things got out of hand when a gynecologist, played by Pete Davidson's patient, Sarah Sherman, tries a new product with Chloe Feynman, Ego Nwodim, Heidi Gardner, Chloe Troast, Punky Johnson, and Kenan Thompson. You probably didn't see Chloe Troast in this either.
I saw Chloe Troast in this one. I
and you're like, hey, first time on camera here. Good for her.
I think I might have done that in my review, actually. I probably need to go fix that.
All right. What'd you guys think of this one? It was a commercial. Did you like the product?
I just thought it was amusing for the most part.
It was weird.
Yeah, it wasn't like a home run or anything like that. I kind of think the visual is funny of like Pete Davidson peeking under, the sheet and talking, like trying to describe. It's like, did you put makeup on it?
Yeah, that was funny. That line was funny.
Yeah,
but yeah, the overall, I just don't know what. It's almost like not necessarily directionless, but just there wasn't enough of a direction. I don't know. It just
I did like
weird.
how everyone kept popping up though, and it was becoming more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah, it was. I was amused.
Yep, exactly
but I wasn't.
It did feel a little bit like an older SNL kind of the commercial where it comes on and it's just kind of a silly product. The quality was there. Everything was fine. It just, the premise wasn't as funny as I've seen before in commercials.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was fine. All right. Finally, last one. This is called Roadhouse Bar. Two men played by Pete Davidson and Andrew Dismukes show off their extravagant lifestyles in a roadhouse bar.
I would have liked to see the
Patrick Swayze.
The Fox Taylor Swift thing go 3 times as long rather than watch this.
Oh, really? I thought this was the one that worked way better than Beach Day as far as the two weird Dismukes sketches were concerned.
I didn't think it was great either.
I didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed it better than the Beach Day sketch.
It just went nowhere for me. They had the premise that was weird right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it went nowhere.
No, I do agree that there wasn't much escalation. I did like the fact that the number of feet pics that you had to take to make money did keep increasing by an absurd amount, which was amusing in itself. And I did like the voices that Dismukes and
I hate the cop out at the end of these because they don't know how to end it.
The commercial, yeah.
So no, not that.
Oh,
the fact that like what they do is like the third person, the normal person who's supposed to be like, what are you guys doing? Finally acquiesces. Well, I guess if it's 15 fingers, then I'll do it. It's like you built this universe of a sketch and it turned.
You tell me you wouldn't do it for 15 fingers.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like it's just the easy out, right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. Blech.
I hate the ultimate.
No, yeah.
When they're like at the last minute, it's like it's a White Castle commercial. It's like no, fuck you.
Hey, well, that one, the most evil science is.
That one does work. That's the one rare exception to the rule. Yeah, but
and that's only because the sketch is so good.
Yeah,
that you can tack on anything at the end and I'd still laugh.
Yeah, every now and then though, they do that because they don't really know how to end the sketch.
Yeah.
And
there are times when you watch a sketch where it's like it's fine, and then it goes on another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's what this felt like for me. It just went. It was okay, and then I got bored with it, and it just kept.
I'll bring it back. It was last season when was it Oscar Isaacs where they threw the body over the coffin over the
no
cliff?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
confused your Hispanic actor. I
don't see color, Brad. No, in that Pedro Pascal episode, that's a sketch that went on far too long. Because I remember thinking like that's the apex of the comedy. I'm dying laughing, and then it just kept going.
Yeah,
and this one wasn't that obviously, but this just started with the absurdity right off the bat, but never went anywhere with it.
That's fair.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit before we get into our favorite sketch of the night and the MVP. as for a premiere episode, what did you guys think of this one? Did you think it was a good episode? Solid? Okay.
Solid.
Not great.
Solid. I was happy with Pete Davidson. He didn't detract like I thought he might. I loved the no politics stuff. It felt like it was very,
which is crazy because people know how privately we are very political.
Yeah.
We just get tired of the politics, and
yeah. Well, Brad's not very political, but
he's got some opinions.
Oh, I love opinions.
yeah. No. I don't love how SNL has treated politics in the last 5 years. Let's say it's just been terrible. Like
I like a good political sketch.
Yeah,
I don't like lazy political sketches, which has been one of the
just caricatures of themselves.
Yep, yep.
You know what? Actually, I just looked this up, and we're both wrong. The beachside funeral sketch that we're thinking of it's called Scattering Remains, and it's actually with Gerard Carmichael. So yeah, not a Hispanic actor at all. It's actually a fine young black comedian named Gerard Carmichael.
You maybe have heard of him.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He is. He's very funny.
All right, so Ben has given his opinion on this episode. What did you think? Good premiere episode? Okay.
I thought it was fine. I didn't think that it was a big hit. I didn't think it had any, awful, lows or anything like that. It was your typical SNL episode that had some pretty good sketches throughout, had some middling ones here and there, and had a couple sketches that didn't really land too firmly for me. Nothing, super, impressive. And if you look back, not a lot of season premieres are the strongest episodes, and especially coming back.
Kim Kardashian was one too. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Coming back from a strike, the writers probably are going to be a little bit rough, and after being on a hiatus, when there's not a strike. So I'm not surprised that this was
Miles
just an
Teller
average
was
episode.
last year's opening one. I
remember that one being fairly average as well.
Then in 2021, season 47. It was Owen Wilson and Casey Musgraves. Kim Kardashian was number 2.
It's another one that was average as well, Owen Wilson.
And then in 2020, in season 46, Chris Rock and Megan Thee Stallion. I
don't remember those being like outrageously hilarious, especially the Owen Wilson one.
Yeah, there's a couple tidbits here and there, but yeah, there was some people on I saw on Twitter saying, "Oh my god, this episode was so bad." It's like, what was so bad about this episode? It was just an average episode.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great. I think because I was disappointed because I was so excited about it coming back, and so that's more my problem because you got to let the episode stand alone a little bit. And there was some funny stuff here. There was some
overall though.
unfunny stuff.
I don't know that you're going to have by the end of the season. Oh, remember that one sketch in that one episode that didn't happen this episode, right?
Yeah,
like Please Don't Destroy was probably the best in my opinion, and then the Pete Davidson Barbie
song,
thing.
yeah.
But those are both pre-tapes. Live sketch wise, there wasn't much to write home about as far as like a really, really funny sketch.
For my opinion, the best live sketch was the Heidi Gardner secretary sketch.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah. So what was your guys' favorite sketch of the night?
The Pete
Barbie was yours?
Yep.
What you been?
Please Don't Destroy was
Please Don't Destroy was mine too. It just edged out.
I thought you liked Please Don't Destroy, Nate.
Stop it. You know I love them.
He lately, I don't know. Yeah,
Brett, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that he likes him as much as he says that he does.
When we're off the air, he says a lot of really mean things.
Yeah, like he's too tall.
Yeah,
I hate
I've never
gingers.
seen anybody more white.
His
I
eyes
hate
are spaced
gingers.
too far
I hate
apart.
him. I
Yeah.
hate gingers.
See, there it is.
Wow, he's just over there. He can't even hear us right now.
Yeah.
He's literally just saying, I hate gingers over and over.
Yeah, he just came out and said it.
All right, let's go talk to him. Hey, we talked about it, and you know what? We think that you like them just enough.
Hey, Nate, can I ask you why you say hateful things just under your breath to yourself while me and Ben are having an aside?
It just comes out. I don't know.
That makes
I hate
sense.
gingers.
But yeah, the Please Don't Destroy sketch was my favorite one.
Yeah, great sketch. Great sketch.
They were equal to me. I just like the creativity of the Barbie sketch. I thought that was Pete's strongest part in this episode, and so. But I think the Please Don't Destroy one was really, really funny as well.
Yeah, you're right. It was the best one of the night.
What about MVP?
Heidi Gardner.
I mean, honestly, I don't
That pretzel
know.
alone.
I would
was
probably
worth it
have
to
to
me.
say Heidi Gardner from that one sketch because I thought it took the most. Like she was the most sketchy cast member in that, right?
And not sketchy in the wrong way.
No, but like I felt like she was doing a character. She pulled it off.
Pulled it off.
She
She
did the
brought it.
pratfall. Like it was the best of that.
Bo and Yang probably did more maybe for the episode, but I think that's.
I can see. Honestly, it was hard for me. I didn't think that there was a standout.
Yeah,
performer
there
this
wasn't a clear
episode.
one to me because
Besides Heidi Gardner, of course.
part of me wants to give it to Bo and Yang, but I'm also split because as much as I loved his Christopher Columbus, I didn't
Hated his Marty in Space or
Yeah,
whatever
I
it was.
hated that bit. Yeah, Gardner. I think Gardner probably.
I think you can make a case for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a strong case.
A toss-up between Heidi Gardner and Bowen Yang, I think, for this one.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. We did it.
Another episode. Again, I want to thank the writers and all those people for getting this strike done to save us from watching Stuart saves his family. But
don't worry, we'll end up watching it.
Great.
There'll be a break probably like around Christmas or something like that.
Hey, who's next week's host?
Next week's host is a hip-hop artist known as Bad Bunny. And he's pretty big on the international charts. And you might have seen him in a movie called Bullet Train, where he played one of the many assassins who was caught up in the action of that film. I
know nothing about Bad Bunny. What do you expect a great episode?
I don't, and not because I dislike Bad Bunny necessarily, but I haven't. He's only appeared in a few things as an actor,
and not a lot of speaking in these roles either.
Now
very grunty. And
I will say, so there. I don't think this is
in Bullet Train.
I don't think this is happening anymore because of the shift of the guard, I believe. But there was supposed to be some kind of superhero movie that was being based around him, not Bad Bunny like as the character, but like him as an actor playing a superhero role.
Oh, El Muerto.
Yeah, but I don't think it's happening anymore. But the fact that they were willing to base, something like that,
he must have
around
some skill set.
Yeah, exactly. But I do know he is a very big hip hop star, and he does have a lot of fans on that side of things. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not he's somebody who can carry a show and be funny. But my hopes are not high though.
Let's see if Travis Kelce makes another.
I would love it. I would love it.
I swear to God, if Travis Kelce shows up again, I'm just gonna shit a brick.
Whoa, an actual brick?
And I'll throw it at him.
Okay, well, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, he's a fucking cop.
Oh, jeez, Pete's.
I said cop with a P.
Oh, okay.
All right. So where can people find you, Bratty Bear?
You can find me
Ranting
picketing in front of Travis Kelce's stupid house, trying to save Taylor Swift from dealing with that. Of course, you know what? Eventually, when they break up, we'll get a hell of an album out of it. Something about Kansas City Chiefs can suck a fat dick. I don't know. She comes up with the song titles.
Yeah, probably for the best.
But no, you can find me at slashfilm.com, writing about Saturday Night Live. You can check out my reviews of every new episode there, a little bit more long form on the Sunday after new shows. Also, at Ethan_ on Twitter. We're still keeping it going, folks. Running on fumes
I
over
think you
there.
mean X, but yes, that's right.
I don't. I mean Twitter.
You do a lot of reposting on X.
I do have a lot of X in my pocket, so I do like to get high.
Wow.
No. But yeah, so that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben and I are on all the socials. Find us. But,
but most importantly, we love hearing feedback from you on Facebook and on Twitter, x.com, all that good stuff. So reach out. Let us know what was your favorite sketch of the night? Who was your MVP if you had one? What did you think about Pete Davidson? Are you looking forward to Bad Bunny?
And they should smash something. What should they smash?
Probably the like and subscribe button.
And Travis Kelce's face.
You're such a mean person.
All right. So again, like us, rate us. It'd be helpful. As we're starting a new season, share this with your friends. Also, that like SNL, because we like to form a little community around that of all of you people who enjoy watching as much as we do. Hey, we're going to be back next week. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.